So you get there and your friends recognize you. They're like, "Oh, Trixa, thank goodness it's you. Can you get us out of here?"
And I want to rage and swing my hammer down on whatever is the weakest point or lock or hinges or anything.
Okay, so as you swing it, in your rage, and you can't exactly hear, but Top Button's trying to scream at you, "Hey, don't do it, it's made of adamant."
No!
Your axe hits the lock and there's a huge crack that goes up your weapon.
Cool.
So yeah, Top Button wins. It's like, "Oh, I tried, I'm so sorry." The lock stays where it is, and your axe is slightly damaged.
The lock?
This guy, he's out of shape. He's already haggard. He's taking his big weapon. He's like, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, come on.
You do the you go and you're just the Anakin thing. The Skywalker.
Any last words, man? Yeah, I thought so.
It just rolls off. Kills.
No son of mine.
Over the sound of combat, you finally catch your ears catch Katrie's voice. She's been shouting this entire time, trying to get your attention specifically. Right? She's been trying to tell you, "Wirbland, your daughter, she's below deck. You can just go find her right now. You just go get your daughter. The ship's sinking."
Oh, bollocks. Am I able to leave combat right now, or
there's a hole straight down into the bowels of the ship right next to you that Raslin has made.
All right, tally ho! And as I walk towards the hole, Kovacs, you've got this, right? Oh, you've got this.
Not a problem.
I just jump in.
Wirbland
Bombs away.
Exits combat. Kovacs, you're soloing this entire encounter by yourself.
That's what paladins do.
Oh, goodness. All right. So
that's 2, and my modifier's -2.
0.
I don't know if I've ever seen a 0 get rolled.
Wow. You reach up with your thin bird arms.
So wet.
Turn into like a...
Yeah, water is really heavy. So,
As it is.
You give it the old college go, and you maybe even get up like a foot or two, but the water's so heavy, and you fall back into the ocean, and you flap around.
Cool.
You know what? Take one more athletics roll. Just, it doesn't take that much time to flail around.
7.
7 with the -2?
Total 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. No, that's enough. That's enough. You rally. You rally. You shake off the water from your wings.
You just flops on his back on the edge of the top of it, just like.
After you fell into the ocean the first time, you looked over and you see a ladder.
Ah.
Yeah, that's how you got. Yeah. Yeah. You discovered the ladder and you were up there and you were gasping for breath.
Before he climbs up, he's just hanging and like almost drowns, sees a ladder. It's like.
Pristine ladder in full working order. And soon you enter into this fairly cavernous space deep beneath the ship. And what you see, actually, give me one perception check around as you enter this place.
17.
17. All right, great. The walls of this room are lined with black powder bags. A lot of them.
They're flammable, particularly explosive.
Particularly explosive.
Okay.
Black powder.
Okay.
And towards this cavernous hallway surrounded by these extra black powder bags. You see at the bottom 2 what look to be spherical, kind of makeshift pods. Pods that would fit 1 or 2 people. And next to the pods is what looks to be an escape hatch. Right? And who else but Wingerbean is sort of just tinkering next to one of the pods. Inside the other pod is Lizzie. She is blindfolded and her hands are bound. But she is conscious. She obviously looks nervous. She looks like she's yelling something, but you can't hear. Whatever this material is made of is fairly soundproof.
Do I have any indication of what this device is?
Just giving it a once-over. It looks to be fairly seaworthy, but there's no real mode of, what's it called? Propulsion. So this pod looks like it was designed to just sort of rise to the surface.
Yeah.
Should they ever need it.
Like an escape pod type thing.
Yeah. Is this the first hit or is this both hits? I'm sorry. I think I
mean, they're done separately, right?
Right. So this is the first hit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you reach back. Was it 15? Right.
6.
Yeah.
And you come down.
Wait, no, 14.
14?
Yeah.
Okay.
13 plus 1.
Yeah. Okay. So you come down with the sword right at the base of Wingerbean's neck. You're like, I'm just going to do this, finish this in one fell swoop.
Hold on, before we do this, just because I'm so bad with stats, is there anything I add besides my weapon modifier to hit?
Proficiency modifier.
See, I knew I was missing something, so that's actually...
And strength?
Strength.
But maybe you don't have any
I
strength.
don't think he.
I do have plus 1 strength.
Okay.
I don't know
So
if he's
then
proficient.
that
in-
suddenly becomes a...
Long swords?
Yeah.
What kind of... Yeah, what kind of...
Oh,
So...
Plus 4 then?
That would be an 18.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
plus 1 from the weapon, plus 1 strength, plus proficiency. Sorry.
Okay, so you cut right, like you aim for his neck. You feel the telltale resistance of mage armor, but you're so amped up. You cut right through it. Wingerbean is aware just quickly enough that someone is attacking him because of the mage armor that he moves just enough that you don't decapitate him, but you do slice deeply into his body. Roll damage.
Really quick, just cast Speak with Animals so I can talk with the rest of the lizard kids.
Yeah, sure.
Just like, all right, wizards.
We haven't seen him. Her? Him. We haven't seen him.
Don't assume. They haven't.
No, we're
Right.
months old, weeks old, and
Right.
even weeks.
Right.
Right.
So they're not around.
Well, he protected us while you were gone.
I wasn't asking that.
Some would say abandoned.
I wasn't asking that.
It's a word you could use.
When
But,
was the last time you saw them?
well, when he was fending off the attackers who took us, and that was the last time, back at the inn.
So you haven't seen it since.
We haven't seen him since then.
Great.
He was pretty mad about you leaving.
Okay, I just break the. I was like,
The abandonment thing really sucked. Just like they're yapping.
can't hear you. Can't understand you.
You guys see Trixie disappear down there. You're like, oh, maybe she's going to go help Werblin. Moments later, she drags a large chest of gold from the bottom of the ship, happily, onto the deck.
The lot of you.
Really quickly, back to Werblin. Okay, so you guys sort of stare each other down. You have like maybe one person between you now. The situation's tense. Wingerbean kind of like itches at the gash that you left on his chest, and he's like, you know, Werblin, 2 gentlemen of business at each other's throats. It's disgusting. Come on. Let's make a deal, you and I. I have nothing personal against you. I have nothing personal against your daughter. She was just insurance. Okay?
Some kind of business you run.
Yeah, look, I never said it was this. Anyway. How about this? All right? He reaches into his coat, pulls out a little bag. He jingles it. To your merc ear, the coins within don't jingle like gold. They jingle like platinum. He places it on the ground in front of you. He's like, that's 100 platinum coins, Warbland. That's enough for you to take Lizzie and start a whole new life somewhere. Where, I don't care. Just let me go. And let me finish blowing the ship. All your friends will die, but hey, you don't owe them anything. Come on. Just take your daughter and go. You owe these people, Warbland. They're psychopaths. They're necromancers. You have a death knight on your team.
You're not wrong.
And a monster. Did you see the monster?
Yeah, I saw the monster.
So come on, Warbland. One businessman to another. I got nothing against you. I got nothing against your daughter. Take the money, take your daughter and go.
And you'll leave me alone.
I mean, unless someone pays me to hunt you down one day, but I mean, come on. Business, capitalism. But likely not to happen.
And if I don't?
Well, if you don't, I guess we're gonna have mano a mano.
What?
The one-on-one, like a fight between two people.
Is that a real term?
I just made it up on the spot. I know. Sometimes I make up words. Anyway,
What is
so
Spanish?
what do you think? That's a lot of platinum. Your daughter's right there. She'll never know what happened. She can't even hear our conversation. Tell her whatever you want.
I go to put my hand out.
Okay, but like lose the swords. I'll shake your hand if you lose the swords. I don't want to get stabbed if I shake your hand, Warbland. Come on. You wouldn't shake someone's hand if they were just carrying swords. All right, hold on. You make you feel better? Hold on. He just drops his little pimp can. There. Now I'm disarmed.
Like you were gonna do anything with
What?
that.
It's a heavy bludgeoning weapon. I could have harmed you.
Give it to me.
Okay. He goes out. He reaches.
I'm asking for the coins. Give me the coins. I don't want to shake it.
Oh, okay, fine. Why did you reach your hand out like that? It was here. He picks up the bag and tosses it at you.
I look at it. Let's pick it up. I throw it straight at his face as hard as I can.
Against it, and there's a shower of platinum coins, right? A shower of it. 100 platinum coins.
One like up top is just like, something's wrong.
Something amiss in the universe. Trixel's like having heartburn for some reason. There's a lot of acid. Looks you right in the face like, is that how it's gonna be?
Suppose it has to be then.
That's really disappointing, Warbland.
Because you know, Winkerbean, I could have taken money. To be honest, I hate them a little bit.
I mean, who doesn't?
But the problem is that all that money, all the money in the world, couldn't be worth more than the pleasure of killing you.
Huh.
And, you know, I'll just get the money afterwards. Always thinking that.
Yeah, very smart. Very smart. Not sure if it's going to go down the way you think it is.
Are we just going to continue talking about it?
No. He starts to point. He starts to point at the wall. It's like, you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah. You think I'm ballsy enough to ignite them?
Think you're ballsy enough to die?
You think I'm ballsy enough to die? Come on, Wordblin. Take a step closer. Let's find out.
Try me, motherfucker.
Do you take the step closer?
Yeah.
He lightning bolts the wall. And that's where we're going to end this session. Winkerbean launching a lightning bolt spell at the walls laced with black powder bags. And that is where we're going to start this session. So here we go. Wordblend. These next few moments, let's just say, pass by in slow motion, right? Wordblend, you see Winkerbean produce the lightning bolt in his hands, and you know what's about to happen. You've seen the black powder bags, and just as he's taking his arm inward to throw it, you see out of the corner of your eye your daughter have also watching this happen. She has more or less thrown off her blindfold, and you see her trying to open the pod to get to you. You just as this lightning bolt, like you can almost, in the slow motion shot, the lightning bolt starts to arc right towards the black powder. You see the pod open just, and you manage to somehow sprint within the heartbeat of this lightning bolt and shut the pod down in front of her. Your daughter places her hand on the glass, and you're able to place your hand there just for an instant before her vision is engulfed in fire and encases the entire outside of the glass. A second later, you sort of blink your eyes. You hear a distant ringing in your ear, but it fades fairly quickly. You glance about you. You're in a very, temperature-wise, you're in a very cool setting. It seems to be fairly dark, lighting-wise. Your vision's a little blurred. You can't exactly remember the last thing that happened. All you can sort of keep in your mind is the image of your daughter placing her hand on the glass. That was the last thing you saw. That was the last thing you remember. Before you lies a grand table that stretches out far in each direction. And a familiar voice chatters lightly next to your ear. You couldn't make out the words at first, but now that the ringing starts to subside, you start hearing this voice. Hey, Wordblend, there you are. You turn your head and you see a familiar floating green stone with 3 eyes tilted on the table right next to you. Wordblend, it's so nice to see you again. How are you?
Did he make...
Is this like a rest stop on the way down?
You know what? I guess you can call it that, yes.
That's encouraging.
Well, I mean, if you glance directly below you, Wordblend, and as you do, you see under your chair this circular, you can call a portal, and sort of is like a whirlpool down to some unknown location. It shimmers red and black, and there's streaks of golden lightning that sort of down into the center of it. I know this is probably a lot to take in. However, how do I best put this? You did explode. I don't know if you remember, but there was a lot of black powder and there was some incineration happening, and...
Did I take that bastard with me?
Well, let's see, shall we? He motions over to the explosion right? And he looks over to the entity in the corner. King of Games, can we get a visual on the location he was just at? You see from an outside third-person perspective on the events that literally just happened. You see Winkerbean throwing the lightning bolt. You see it striking the side of the ship. And in super slow motion, you see this massive fireball just erupt from the center of the lightning bolt. You see yourself saving your daughter just in time. You've locked the hatch in front of her. You see the fire engulf you. You disappear from under the flames. And the flames also reach Winkerbean. That explains what happens next. Phoenix bloodline. All right. You'll notice this right here. You see how and as he narrates, you see how the flames hit him just so he starts to disintegrate. Oh, there he goes, there he goes. The body, the burnt husk of Winkerbean explodes on its own and propels what appears to be a rebirthed body back into the pod, which shuts. You see, I made a small wager with my friend, the King of Games there.
Is he a gambling man?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he loves that stuff. I mean, you should see the way he actually plays this game with all of you. And there's numbers and random outcomes involved. It's crazy. Anyway.
Like rolling a die?
I mean, that's a very caveman way to put it, but in essence, yes. He thought that you had finished providing what you could to this story. He thought that it was your time. My wager is that you have more to offer this story. Now, Werblund, it was very touching for you to save your daughter, but it has more or less taken you out of the game. But as long as you hold those 3 cards, you may play with us here. You can still help your daughter. You can still help your friends put an end to Zudun. And after those 3 cards are used up, well, he motions below you. Then it will be time to face your final end, whatever shape or form that may encompass. But as long as you hold those 3 cards, you can still change fate.
Here I was thinking I'd gotten too old for this. So, deal me in.
Fantastic.
Let him go.
All right. And you see that the pod holding Winkerbean is exploded and flies out through the waters behind the ship. And you can even from your seat at the great table, you can even hear his inner monologue. And as he's thrown out into the sea, you just sort of hear like a "Catch you later, Werblund," as he goes. Just as your DM, like I warned you last session, there is this could be a character altering event. Death is a harsh word, but it could be character altering.
Cool.
Werblund's character has been altered.
Yes, it would seem so.
You could say that.
Right. You see Google McGuffin sitting next to you. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. She does have that danger thing. Oh, yeah.
What are you reading?
Oh, you ever wondered about your friends? I have all their information right here.
Let me see that.
passes over like these sheets. You see like stray numbers, words you don't really understand. Something about danger sense, something about rage.
What's a spell slot?
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time to explain all this to you. Tell you what, I'll fill you in after this whole thing happens. How about that?
Yeah, all right.
Kovacs, you make it. You're able to leap off the boat just in time. Action movie style. The huge explosion right behind you, and you dive off the boat into the waiting body horror that is the ship below you. Trixa. Before I tell you what happens to you, I'm going to oh wait, I have Nate's number.
Right.
Right. Before I describe what happens to you, I'm going to describe what happens to Pluck. Pluck is unable to escape the ship in time without suffering some of the, or a lot of the explosive damage that happens behind him. So you see him being blown off the ship instead of jumping off the ship. Granted, after he is blown off the ship, he does land in your boat. He's singed, and he's messed up, and we'll see how badly in just a second after damage is rolled. And he's very still, and you can't tell how okay he is.
Uh-oh.
You do a quick bit of math in your head, and as the explosion, yeah, exactly. You're like, damn it. Okay, fine. And then you leave the chest where it is. Your hand lingers for like a microsecond, like, and then you start racing for the edge of the ship. And as fast as your feet can carry you, you even notice Azaz begin to wrap around your skin, putting more power to your legs, and each step becoming more powerful than the last. Literally, it's not so much you running anymore, it's Azaz dragging you via your legs, desperately trying to get off the ship in time. The explosions that are rupturing the ship behind you start to catch up at a very blinding pace. You look behind you, you look ahead of you, the math in your head begins to jar, and it starts to not add up. There's too much space in front of you, and there's not enough space behind you. And in this small windowed moment, you're sort of taken into the back of your mind just for a split second. You see the image of Azaz as a little cat at your feet. And once more, he places his paw on your foot. It's a very comforting gesture. And for the very, very first time, you hear him whisper to you with words. And all he says is, "I'm sorry, Trixa." Azaz wraps himself around you like a protective blanket, and the explosion engulfs you. Now I have to roll for damage. This flaming ball of black stuff being shot into the air and lands in the water next to your boat.
Uh-oh.
And immediately after it hits the water, the flames go out. The shadowy kind of goop that engulfed Trixa sort of fades from her skin and just sort of liquefies and trails off into the water. Trixa, you lose consciousness for just a few seconds in the air there because of the concussive force of the blast, but you awaken in the water, ears ringing, vision blurred, and a little cold. Now, obviously you're in the water, but interior-wise, a little cold. You can't immediately get a hold of Izaz, but you are more or less, though singed and exploded a little bit, you are alive. Pluck is not waking up. A quick check of his vitals tells you that he is alive, but he is not waking up. He is in a very, very bad condition. It's like a chase scene across the water. The Black Lotus shatters and explodes in this massive mushroom cloud. The shockwave of the explosion chasing your boat across the water, gaining up on it just barely at its tail before the ship manages to outspeed the rest of the shockwave and make it skids across the ocean into safety.
Yes! Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's Cool McGuffin's like, you want to see that in slow motion? That was awesome.
Oh, hell yeah.
he just plays it back for you. It's like, oh,
Trix, are you okay? Trixa?
Huh?
Well, you're alive.
Yeah.
So that's something.
I think I'm okay.
Where's Warbland? Did you see him?
He went downstairs on the boat.
Oh, there's no way he made it.
Tough luck, compadre.
Shit.
Google's like, they think you're dead. Granted.
Well, Wingerbean must have gone with him.
He was down there, yeah.
But his daughter.
I don't know, I didn't see her.
She must have been on that ship. Damn it! We couldn't do it.
Oh, it's a damage
12.
pod. Yeah, that's enough. So you pop it, and there's this hissing noise as the top of the pod just kind of pops open, and all at once, because this pod was relatively soundproof, the screams of a child hit your ear as a small, little, deep gnome girl, clutching the sides of the pod, just come into view, and it just, from the hoarseness of her voice, it seems like she's been screaming for straight minutes now. Just unflinchingly, unstoppingly, her hands where the glass used to be, her eyes wide in probably some of the most trauma you can suffer from a child, and just unceasingly screams just erupting from her mouth, even as she sees that she's been freed from the pod. She scrambles around, looking desperately around her surroundings because she hasn't been able to see out for a long time now, getting her bearings. The screams start turning into words, and you start hearing her yelling, and the word you make out is dad, 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 dad. We can go back and look at some of your old life too, as just, for fun later if you want.
You don't want to say that.
Oh, I'm a seeker of knowledge. I would like to see some of that.
Hope you got a strong stomach.
I don't have a stomach.
Fair point.
Yes. So Werblin is going to take a quick bathroom break in the cosmic.
There you have one of those.
Oh yeah, it's right over there. It's just don't touch the thing that's looks like a flusher. It's not a flusher. Just, you've been living with this presence inside you for so long. It's quiet. And it's a little unnerving because of the amount of time you've spent with Azaz in your head. It feels kind of lonely just by yourself suddenly.
Azaz.
There's no answer.
Azaz.
Nothing.
We have to go back, turn around.
What? Why? What?
I don't have Azaz with me.
Is that your,
Yeah,
friend?
I think we left him back there. Can we go back?
How can we leave him? Doesn't he live in you?
I can't find him.
Sees the big towering skeletal monstrosity that is the entrance to your dungeon.
Yeah, that's
Is that it?
That's it.
It's very safe.
They're
It's only unsafe for unwelcome
They're
visitors.
really happy there.
Look at the bones.
Yeah, they get to learn about anatomy.
Keeps intruders away.
She's like, Casey is shocked. She's like,
I'll show you the place. It's something.
they're okay though.
Oh, they're
Yeah, and they've got
Great.
names now.
They do have names. I have them. I have all of the names. I've been waiting to tell you what the names were. By the way, when you sit back down, Google MacGuffin turns to you. You didn't flush the thing, did you?
I don't think so.
Huh. We'll find out in a couple sessions if you did. I told you not to flush it.
I didn't.
Okay, good. Then we have nothing to worry about.
Thank you.
It pointedly looks at you.
Am I getting side-eye from a rock right now?
The best I can, yes. It has to tilt its entire body.
You maybe have someone less on the dead side ask her questions.
Skeleton, put her down.
Skeleton sets her down.
Zombies. Take her to her room.
No.
Kovacs, that is a lich.
Oh, demi-lich.
That's worse. That's so much worse, Kovacs. That's so much worse than a lich. You left me children.
I would think that would mean it's like half as bad, right?
No! No, Trixie, it's so much worse than a lich. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I just need a
Doesn't
moment.
Demi mean
I
half?
just need a moment. I'm sure they'll collect more orphans throughout their travels. And technically, Lizzie, but she's a two-namer. Unless you count Wire Cheek as two.
Did you have to point out that she's an orphan, mate?
Well, I guess technically she's like half an orphan because you're doing this whole incorporeal, not yet dead thing. So there's still hope. It's fine. It's fine. Let's get back to the game. And while they're sleeping, Google turns to you and it's like, you see how all their stats are going back up? That's why it's important for you mortals to sleep.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what happens. Life is weird, right?
It's all math.
Yeah, everything is math.
What about us here?
Oh, we're math too.
And who's watching our papers?
Huh. I don't know.
King? That's alarming.